Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to the MVM Show. Yes, if you are listening to this when it first posts, it is Monday morning. Welcome back, all of you East Coasters that are listening to this at 6 in the morning. If you're crazy enough on the West Coast, when it drops at 3 a.m., welcome. Wake up. Don't go to sleep. Keep your eyes open. Focus. It's time to attack another week, to attack another time. I've been listening to too much Jocko Willenick. If you haven't heard of him, you got to check him out, but he will motivate you. I could be getting to talk like him. Stay awake, stay focused, stay alert. It's another Monday, another time to attack the week and move up. And okay, that's all I got. Anyways, welcome back to the MVM Show, guys. I'm Titus, and yes, I am motivated. I am pumped to keep getting these episodes out. And I want to say, if you guys haven't, don't forget to check out Motion Ducks. MotionDucks.com/MVM, guys. And if you want the ultimate spreader, if you want a jerk rig system setup that will trump anything out there, I promise you. Hey, I like the Hickman pulsators. I like any flock of flickers and any kind of motion that we can get, spinner wings, whatever it is. But I'm telling you right now, on those calm, windless days, Motion Ducks Ultimate Spreader will give you something that, like, you've never had in your spread before. It's the most realistic by far. That being said, if you go to that, motionducks.com/MVM, you will get an already discounted. I think it goes from like $114 for the ultimate spreader, which is 2 in 1. Basically, you can connect them. We like using the single one by itself, but it comes with the extra one that you can attach. Make it 7 ducks on one pull string. And if you do that, they're like, I think it goes down to like $96. It's only specifically for Mid-Valley Mercenaries and the MVM Show and all that good stuff. It goes from like $114 to like $97, give or take. I can go pull it up, but I don't got time for that right now. But then, listen to this. It gets better. If you order on there, you get I better go look. I was just talking to some friends the other day. They said I crack them up because I always said I cannot remember the simplest words. I don't know what it is when I get on this podcast. I just forget the simplest things. But let me give you the full deets in case you don't want to go there yourself. Whoa. What's going on here? Watch this thing not work. Hold up. MotionDucks.com/ I don't know what I said to you guys earlier, but MotionDucks.com/MVM. I think that's what I said. And boom, right here, it says Mid-Valley Mercenaries Fan Special Ultimate Spreader with free anchor bag. Okay, I didn't want to say it, but I thought that's what it was. So you get the Ultimate Spreader, you get the free anchor bag. The kicker here is it goes from $114.98 to $99.99, okay? Because it's the fan special. Then you put in the code MVM10 and get another 10% off that, guys. That's like another almost $10. So I'm just letting you know, that's a steal. I'm telling you right now, that's a very, very, very good deal. Pick it up while you guys can, while this deal is going on. And we're going to be using all season. You're going to see it in our videos. By far, I mean, I like pulsators. Trust me, it's nice because you don't have to pull no jerk string. The thing is, it still makes noise. The little motor that kicks the water up, it still makes some noise. So, get him. There's a little mosquito buzzing around my head. But with this thing, there's no sound, and it just looks real. It looks like a little cluster of ducks swimming around. Also, if you guys don't watch the YouTube channel Mid-Valley Mercenaries, you need to go check it out there because there's a giveaway going on. Just letting you know. And the giveaway is tomorrow. That video has been up about 6 days. Tomorrow is we draw the winner. So what you got to do is you got to go to our latest video, and it's a duck hunt. You see me in the thumbnail shooting at some spoonies or whatever. It's the most recent hunt. I think it's episode 17, if I remember right. Go in there and like the video, subscribe, and comment, and you get entered in. I'll be doing the drawing tonight. Well, I say tomorrow night. Tonight, Monday, August 22nd, 2022. So tonight, let's be real. I'm recording this on Sunday night. That's why it's throwing me off. Anyways, let's get into the episode here, okay? That's enough of that. What I want to talk to is to finish up the questions that you guys had, and these are serious and for reals, like kind of been goofing off a little bit here at the beginning. Stretch this out, but honestly, I got some things I really feel like it's going to help you guys, more so the newer guys, maybe the veteran guys, because I've been duck hunting for over 20 years, and there's some things that I still am figuring out the last 3. I don't think, actually, you should never stop learning, right? So the 2 things I want to cover in this episode, and this won't be long, probably 20, 25 minutes max, is getting better at calling, getting better. People ask a lot about that on Instagram, like, oh, my biggest struggle was getting better at calling. Okay, I got some tips for you that I would really like to share with you. And then the other one was, and this sounds simple, but I think this is a big issue, and it's something that takes experience and time, but it's calling the shot at the right time. Now, I'm not going to jump ahead of myself, but there's some things there I want to say about calling the shot at the right time. But let's start off with getting better at calling. Okay. This is what I do, okay? And then I'm going to go into some other details of getting better at calling. First and foremost, the best way that you can be the best, and let's just go to mallard, okay? I'm going to use mallard as the example. The best mallard caller is by listening to mallard calling, live mallard calling, okay? Now, where am I going to get that? Well, there's not a lot of places, but you can listen to Ducks Unlimited app. They'll play some sounds. Also, there is several videos on YouTube that you can put mallard sounds in it, and people will go out there and record with the microphone the sounds that a big group of mallards make, and you can try to imitate that with your duck call, okay? You may ask, what's the best call out there? Well, that is personal preference. My favorite call is JJ Lares. Now, that's not a cheap call. It's give or take $130 or so, okay? So a JJ Lares hybrid is the easiest blowing call. Okay, it is single reed, and some say that's harder. I never really felt like it was that much harder, but a lot of people say that. They say double reed is easier to blow, okay? It is true, it is, but I guess it's hard for me to remember. Okay, so if you want a cheap call, it's $25 and you want to practice, I'm going to tell you about this. Buy the, here we go. Difficult. It's a double nasty, and now for some reason I can't remember who makes it. My goodness. Why do I do this? Why? Double nasty. Buck Gardner. Buck, B-U-C-K, Gardner. Go look it up on Amazon. You can get it for $20-25. Boom, done. Okay. Get that call. Listen to the live duck sounds. Look at, there's different competitions. If you never heard of them, there's meat duck. There's just regular duck calling competitions. There's a bunch of different names for them. The one that I feel, again, I think any competition caller is going to say this. Don't go listen to those to learn how to duck call. Now, those guys are amazing duck callers, and you don't blow the same in the competition ones as you do in a real scenario. But the live duck calling competitions, okay, live, L-I-V-E, live duck calling, those are the ones that are identical to a real duck. And I'm going to play a sound bite from a guy here. I'll give you his name in a second. That I practice too. This is me personally. I listen to real duck sounds, but I also listen to this quite a bit. And his name is Brett Crow. He's I'll give you the details here in a second. Oh, here we go. My goodness. And I say this in my playlist, but I'm going to play a sound bite from him so you can just hear. It's already wanting to play without me even. Hold on a sec. Here we go. All right, I'm going to start over. Okay. This is, if you want to search it in YouTube, S2 Outfitters is the YouTube channel. I mean, they don't really post anything, but if you want to look it up, or the best way to type it is the search bar is 2013 World Live Duck Calling Contest, Brett Crow, second round. He has a few different ones on here, okay? But this is a live duck calling competition. So they're trying to sound like real birds. It's not the... It's not that. Now, that being said, just because those guys do that in the competition doesn't mean they do that in the field. It's just That's the style. That's the way it's been done for a long time. That's just a separate type of competition. Listen to this guy. I practice with him all the time. I play it in headphones, or I play it as loud as I can and kind of put it close to my ear and then blow the call and try to emulate this. And I will tell you this, me being duck hunting for over 20 years, I never took calling as serious as I did in the last 2 years. And I feel like I have come a long way in the last 2 years, and it's kind of sad for duck hunting as long as I have. I never took it that serious. I feel like if you're going to do a sport and get into it, why do it half-heartedly? Do it wholeheartedly. So I don't know why over 18, 19 years, I just kind of flubbed around with it or emulated guys that I hunt with, like Travis or whatever, when, and nothing against Travis. Travis can blow a duck call good, but meaning I want to sound as real as possible and I want to sound as good as possible. So I'm going to listen to world champions, and he's won multiple times. He's bad to the bone. So let me play. It's only a minute long, and I don't think it's going to hurt nobody's feelings because we're all big duck hunters. Listen to this guy blow a duck call. Now he's going to start. This is official. So good. Bad to the bone. And I don't think nobody would argue that. Now, he's blowing, and I've talked to him several times, and he in all his competitions, he was blowing the JJ Lares T1 timber. So it's the T1. It's called timber, but it's considered regular bore. They have small bore too. So just for official, so you guys know, the easiest blow to blow of theirs, and it sounds amazing, is, and I have that one. I have a few, let's put it that way. And I'm not advertising for him. I highly believe in his calls, and I'm going to give you a few reasons why, okay? This is about getting better at calling, this episode, but I want to give you some stuff that will make sense to you in your mind. I'm trying to help some people, okay? They have the JJ Lares has a hybrid, which is I highly recommend for anybody really wanting to just get an easiest to blow call and amazing sounding, and it's the most popular. They have the A5. I personally, it's a bigger bore, or a bigger, here we go again. I'm not even going to try to say it. It's not the insert. It is the bore. But it's the top end's bigger, okay? And I just never have really been able to blow the A5 to where I really like the sound of it. And trust me, I've tried all the reeds. And it just, I don't know. It's just, for me, it's not my favorite. It still sounds good. I mean, it sounds better to me than any call in the market, but I'm going to look something up because I can't stand when I do this and forget stuff. Told you I was going to do this. This just happens every time. I forget things in terms. And then, of course, I'm not going to be able to find it. The barrel. My goodness. That drives me nuts. Because the insert's the bottom part. The barrel's the top where you put your mouth to. You got the reed. You got the tone board. You got the wedge. Okay. So I talked about the A5. I talked about the hybrid. There's the T1 and T1 timber. T1 timber is the regular bore, meaning the bore at the end is the insert has a bigger opening, whereas the T1 with the small bore is a lot smaller. So that's the main difference. But the one that he's blowing in that competition for sure, he told me himself, is the JJ Lares T1 Timber. And I don't think it doesn't matter to him, but he was actually using, he said he likes using a 370 or a 375 or a 380. I think he was using a 380 on that one. So it's a 1.380. And if you don't know what that means, which probably a lot of you don't, that's actually the length of the cut of those reeds. This is the powerful point I'm going to bring up about the JJ Lares calls. And again, I'm just talking about duck calling, right? There's a lot of live duck calling competitions, and I've listened to a lot, and there's amazing guys out there. I'm not saying he's the only one. There's a lot of guys. But what I'm bringing this up is, I feel like for my ear, I've never heard that good of a call that sounds literally like the quack of a duck. I don't know. I could, and I know people are going to comment down below. That's fine. Totally. If you're listening to on the YouTube channel, comment down below and tell me the call that you like the best. That sounds real. Not because you just like the brand, because you like the look, but I'm telling you, how many guys do you hear that sound like that? That sounds like a real duck. I'm sorry. That guy sounds like an actual duck. And I've listened to a lot of live duck competitions, and I don't feel like they're that good. And it's part of him, obviously knows what he's doing. And he had good teachers, he told me, mentors, but also it's that call, man. And the powerful thing about this call is, okay, and I'm going to tell you why. You take that call apart, most calls have what? They have the wedge is a cork wedge. And what happens when cork gets wet? It changes, right? And so your call is going to change. If that cork changes, the wedge, it's going to change the sound of the call. And that is what it is. Guys been doing that. That's what's been around the longest, okay? The wedge in this is a plastic wedge with a little, kind of like a little nipple that sticks out of it so you can pull it in and change your reeds out. That right there is foolproof, okay? Let's go to the next step. The reeds. There's some guys out there that are amazing tuning calls. It's like, I don't know how you do that. I cannot do it. And they're just so good. They know right where to make the cuts, the length, if they dog ear it, all that kind of stuff to change the sounds of it, make it easier to blow, whatever. I just never put a lot of time into it. When I did, I always messed them up, had to throw them away and try another one. But the powerful thing about JJ Lares calls is that it goes, I'm not 100% sure, it's a 1.310. I think that's as small as it goes, is a 310. I'm going to call it a 310. And then it goes up in increments of 5 after that, okay? So one being long and then the others being short. So the shorter it is, the raspier it is, okay? The longer it is, the higher pitch it is, and you can kind of break it over easier. But I just said that backwards. This is why you don't do podcasts late at night. Let me think here. Yeah, I said it right. Because the stock, like say a hybrid, it will come with the 355. I might have said that backwards, but then when you go longer, that's what it is. When you go longer, it's more raspy and it gets harder to blow. You know what? I know you guys don't think I ever do research before it, but sometimes I get into sorry, I'm typing something in right now. Just give me a sec. Oops. Okay, so what it is I don't plan on saying some things, and then some things come to my mind when I'm doing it. So because yeah, I know what guys do this. I just don't do all this. But sanding, like people will sand the tone boards. Do not do that to JJ Lares call. But I know people will do that. Sanding adds texture to the tone board surface, which makes the call raspier. And then there's a lot of good videos out there, but now I'm going to correct myself because it's going to irritate me. And people are screaming at the dill. Don't scream at me. Hey, just give me Cut me some slack. I've been working nights all week, all night long, so it's totally throwing me off. There's reasons I'm looking this up. And I know the answer. That's the sad part, but because my brain is completely fried right now, I cannot think of it. Yeah. So shortening it, and I did say that backwards. Shortening it makes it a higher pitch. Longer is raspier, and duckier, I guess, is the word I use. I don't know if that's the proper word or whatever, but yeah, shorter reeds make it higher, easier to blow, except if you blow hard, it breaks over and will squill on you. So you got to use the right amount of pressure and stuff like that. But the reason I was bringing that up is they make reeds and they cut by precision to the just centimeter, right? So the millimeter. I mean, they're very, very fine. So it's a millimeter cuts, and it's always the same. So if just say if you like a 1.355, which is stock in, say, like the hybrid, you have no work to do. You're like, that's the sound I like. And when you go order them online, I suggest going checking out upperduck.com. That's where I buy my calls from, and I'm friends with Dave Corley that owns that over there. Great. Him and his wife are a great team. Good people. Best place to go get your calls from. But your Lares calls, they sell quite a bit of other ones too. They sell R&Ts and stuff too. But anyways, whatever you like, whatever you get used to, you can buy a sample pack and try different lengths and sizes that are preset, and the numbers are written on them, so you always know that's what I have. So there's no questioning there, and it always sounds the same. That's why it's so good. So that is just a big suggestion I get. If you want a cheap call, get the Buck Gardner Double Nasty. If you want a call that's going to last forever, they're beautiful. They have so many different colors and variations, and you always get the same sound every time, dialed into what you like, whether it's a 370 or a 355 or a 310. You're getting what you like every time. Then you can order a pack of those and always have them on deck. So anyways, and like I said, I practice to that session right there. I practice to listening to mallards on a pond, pintail, same thing. Listen to it. I hear guys on the pond and I'm like, when have you ever heard a pintail or a widgeon sound like that? I know that's what they're trying to emulate. I'm thinking, did you go with somebody that blew it a certain way and you're just copying them? Like, it sounds nothing like a pintail. It sounds nothing like a widgeon. And I'm just like, a clock is right twice a day. If a dead battery clock that's on the wall, if the batteries are dead, and it's right twice a day. Just because birds come in every once in a while or do come in and you shoot them has nothing to mean that because you're calling wrong that you're doing something right. Does that make sense? It's like, I don't know. I just want to get more people and convince more people out there. Don't just do something because somebody said this is the way to do it. Find the right way and find the truth and do it. And you're going to be so much more successful, and you're going to feel better about yourself because you're going to look back one day and like, why did I blow that call like that? Why was I doing that? It's because you just didn't put the effort forth into doing it the right way. And like I said, speaking of that, I wasn't horrible on a duck call, and I'm not saying I'm a world champion now. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is it's just being lackadaisical, right? And just like, I just don't feel like focusing on that because it takes work. I don't blow all off season. I blow, and I'm going to end this podcast pretty quick. We're almost at 25 minutes. I don't blow all off season. I'm going to be honest with you. But I start right now, like about a month or two before season. And when I walk by the call, I grab it and blow it. I throw it in my truck, blow it on the way to work, whatever. Go in the kitchen. It's my beat lab, man. The kitchen has a great echo. It's all wood floor and cabinets in there. Sounds amazing. Sounds like must be what those timber boys feel like when they're blowing duck calls. It has a great sound until you blow it in open air. It's totally different sounding, but no, I just get in that zone. Walk by it, practice. Listen to guys that know what they're doing. Listen to live duck calling competitions. Those dudes are the guys that know what they're doing. And look that up, and it's the best practice you can get. And you'd be surprised. In a couple of weeks, a month, you'll be like, man. And people around you, your buddies will like, wow, I actually noticed a big difference in your calling. Don't take the easy route. Work hard at it and be the best that, around. and it will pay off for you. So that I beat that to a pulp right there, because to me that was the main one when I wanted to cover. Calling a shot at the right time ain't gonna take very long, but I did want to throw some little tips out there. So I don't think there's nothing else in the duck calling part that I wanted to, because people are saying getting better. I want to get better at duck calling. Well, there you go. And if you can't afford a $120 call, that's totally fine. I don't think anybody should just come out the gate and buy a $120 call, unless you can afford it and you want to go for it. You won't regret it. I promise you that. And there's so many color variations. You'll really like this call, guys. So next, moving on and wrapping up this podcast, calling the shot at the right time. Guys said, I struggle with that all the time. I agree. That's something to this day, I will still I stood up too late. We don't call shots. And maybe that's not what, when people are talking about this, what they meant, take them, I never do that, but I hunt the same people all the time. So if I was hunting a group of 6 or 7, I know someone really does need to call a shot, because if you're goose hunting, I feel like if it was me, Thomas, Travis, Talon, I feel like if we were hunting together, us 4, we would still want call. No one would be like, take them. We would never do that, because to me, it's just obvious. And we've hunted long enough together and hunted for years. So, but if you're with a group of guys and there's 6 or 7 of you definitely need to have a guy doing that. So some dingling don't stand up and shoot it too early. That would cause serious confusion. So you definitely in those situations gotta have a shot caller. But let's just say someone's calling the shots and you're out in the marsh. You're standing in the tulies, birds coming in, and a lot of times what most of us will do as duck hunters, we'll stand up too late. Because think about it. If you're crouched down, if you're sitting on a marsh seat and you're in the tulies or wherever you're in a blind, whatever, you got to throw a blind top open. Think about that. I mean, there's multiple things, right? That's going to take some time. You need to stand up before you think you need to stand up. In other words, when you're like, oh, it's too early. No, you need to stand up, because by the time you flip that top open, by the time you stand up, just that split second of standing up and then shouldering your gun and then aiming. Think about that. I mean, that's quick, but at the same time, that could be a second. That could be 2 seconds. That could be 3 seconds. By then, a lot of times people will be shooting them in the rear end because they stood up too late. They stood up when they were in the kill hole. You need to stand up before they're in the kill hole. That way, when you stand up, and you see that a lot in guided hunts, like Tony Vandemore's videos, or guys that go with guides. The guides are telling them when to shoot, but what I think a lot of guides do it wrong is they tell them to shoot and kill them, take them, when they're already in the kill hole. So by the time the clients or the people get up to shoot, now they're in the hole and going out of the hole. Still works, still kill ducks, but I think for sure you'd kill more if you got everybody getting up by the time they're getting in the kill hole. And I'm not talking negatively about any guide or anybody. I was just mentioning you can watch their videos as a reference. You can tell it's always a little bit late for the most part. Actually, if you watch Tony's videos, he does, whoever his shot caller is, it's not him because he's usually videoing or using his dog, but that guy does pretty good, because it's pretty impressive how many birds those clients will kill. At 10, 15 birds, they'll knock them down. But so just stand up earlier than you think. Stand up before you think. Stand up before they get in the kill hole. And I promise you you'll be like, okay, that made a huge difference, because then you can double. You can triple. But if you're standing up when they're in the kill hole and now they're going away out of the kill hole, you really only have a chance to shoot one duck. I mean, unless they're literally 5-10 yards from you. Birds will get out dodged quick. And then you're taking those prayer shots. You're wounding birds. You're putting shot in them that you thought maybe I didn't hit them, and then they go die later. So got to be cognizant of that. So anyways, that is it that I had for you, and hope you have a amazing Monday, an amazing day. I hope your work week goes quick, and God bless duck season. It's just around the corner, boys. Stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next one.